Good
I'm
evening.
sorry, Mr.
For
Jacobs.
people who don't know me, I'm a seventh grade English teacher and Beta Exec Board member. I'm coming to talk about bargaining. I'll be honest, it's a shame that we're not in the big room. You can barely hear people in there, and it's always better to have everybody in the room. So if we have to do this again, I would encourage us to meet where we can be face to face. Can hear that rattlesnake whisper over there of the cowbells. I really want to talk about bargaining, the hang up on Article 14. It is so frustrating, right? Last year we didn't get a raise. We were told, oh my God, if we pay your health benefits, we're going to have to lay people off. We're going to have to reduce positions. But we had millions, tens of millions left over. The budget is bigger this year. And oh, we can't come to the table with a decent raise option. And it is really, really insulting. It says something about where teachers fit as a priority in this district when the board is taking home thousands of dollars a month extra. You're worth it, but it's a lot. When the superintendent is getting thousands and thousands of dollars more than the last one. Also worth it, but it's a lot, right? When CSEA settles for 2.5 and we get stuck even at an offer of 2, it tells us that we are the bottom rung. That is what you think of us. I sent the board an article today. I don't know if you had a chance to read it, an NPR article. And the main idea, as we say in class, of that article is that teacher pay is down, adjusted for inflation, since 2017. And I hear that from members every day because all anybody wants to talk to me about is when are we going to settle? When's the raise coming? Are we getting a retro check? I have teachers telling me, I have no money saved for summer. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have teachers tell me, I have 2 kids, I'm a single mom, and I work a second job on the weekends, in addition to going through induction to try to get my credential cleared so that I can pay rent and feed my kids. I have teachers telling me, this summer, all I'm gonna eat is ramen noodles and hot dogs so that I can afford to feed my kids. Right? I mean, this is what I'm hearing from members. We feel it. The gas, the amount that you're offering us, what we would take home per month, for most of us, won't pay the increase in the gasoline for our cars. It sure won't pay the increase in PG&E. We feel it every day. And we're not asking for a lot. I sit on the CACS committee at State Council where you've seen those we can't wait strikes. And I'm hearing districts like Anaheim down there saying that they negotiated a raise that caused the districts to spend down reserves every year. We're not asking you to spend down reserves. We want you to be able to continue to have reserves, but we would like a raise that allows us to maintain our dignity and our standard of living. Very difficult.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. Up next, we have Kayla Ferguson.
Oh, no, Sheila got in before. She's in the other room. She'll go.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. Thank you for taking the time to extend our comments tonight. I appreciate it. I really hope we're able to get everybody for that. I wanted to kind of share with you that throughout the year, we are all waiting here to see what the outcome of bargaining is going to be. And we're waiting to see, are we going to be seen in those results? We can't wait any longer. All of our sick leave is exhausted at this point. So we can't even take days off to show you that we're not happy with what's being presented. You're being fed this narrative that BCSD has to underpay its teachers or risk its financial solvency. And that's a lie. We have 20% in reserves when the law says 3. What are we doing with the other 17%? We are consistently filing exemption after exemption every year when we're supposed to be spending 60% of our budget on teacher salaries for a district of this size. And we're not. And it's a shame to stand in front of this sign and do that to our educators. I stand here tonight to let you know that 1.5% with a tiny bump to 2% in the last hour is insulting. I absolutely agree with Mr. Jacobs, who says that that tells us exactly where we stand, and it is not okay. I've said it before at these meetings, but there is not a curriculum on this planet, a professional development on this planet, an SEL module of videos that nobody asked for, including the surveys from CNI to your educators, cannot replace what a well-trained, veteran, responsive educator can do for the kids in this district. If you pulled that module series for SEL, if you stopped telling us we're lucky to get summer professional development for extra work at our sites when we didn't ask for that either, you could easily fund this raise. Easily. Stop giving us this message that we don't deserve the raise we do unless we kill ourselves doing extra work over the summer to get it. We're worth more. We're worth more. And this board, I have loved seeing the fire in questioning things, bids given to organizations that don't represent here and what we believe in. But where's that fire and energy now when you're just accepting that it's okay that if we give this raise to our educators, that somehow this district, this absolutely behemoth financially of a district will somehow go under? You have pupil money being spent through ADA that's up by 70% since the 2018-2019 school year. So you can cry all you want about declining enrollment, but it's not affecting the bottom line. You're making more per pupil, a bigger budget this year than we have ever had, and it's time to spend it where it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Up next we have Penny Marquez.
Good evening, my name is Penny Marquez, and I'm a first grader at Williams. My speech tonight is called Without Teachers. Without teachers, I wouldn't be able to read. Because I was taught to read, I can make words come alive in my brain. Reading makes me very joyful. Without teachers, I wouldn't be able to write descriptive stories. Because I was taught to describe, my writing is full of amazing adjectives, adverbs, and transition words. Writing makes me a great author. Without teachers, I wouldn't be as talented of an artist as I am. Because I learned to draw and paint, my family got to visit and see my art at the district office. Without teachers, I wouldn't have learned to sing and perform. Because I learned the arts, I get to be on stage and share my voice at the spring showcase at Williams Elementary. Teachers deserve a fair paycheck because they do more than just teach. A teacher can make kids feel safe, like they are special, and that every student matters. Thank you, Miss Merritt. I love your You Matter clock. You matter too. Thank you, Miss Kimball, for making me feel special even on my rough days. Thank you, Mrs. Ramirez, for teaching me more about words so I can read more challenging books. Thank you, Mrs. Richards, for teaching me how to regulate my feelings with my toolbox tools. Thank you, Mrs. Rizalmi, for inspiring me to become an art and music teacher just like you. Thank you, BCSD School Board, for listening. But before you thank a teacher, remember, more than praise, teachers need a raise.
Up next, we have Ms. Perez, Lila Perez.
Okay, buenas tardes, good afternoon, honorable school members, superintendent, staff and communities, perdón. My name is Lila Perez, a kindergarten dual immersion teacher at Harris Elementary. I'd like to honor the indigenous ancestors of this region by acknowledging that we are all living and working in Yokat lands. My ask and action is that we take care of the lands. It starts with me. I'm here today as the Beta Voice and Ethnic Minority at Large Director, and I'm part of the Beta Executive Board. I'm here to say to you, please stop wasting our district resources and stop wasting our bargaining team's instructional teaching time. Move on with the negotiations. Be fair, be respectful, be inspired to do what is right for more than 1,800 teachers who make a difference at 43 schools. Okay, in my speech I had 1.5, so I entered that, it's going up to 2. Doesn't matter. Yesterday, the raise with the current conditions, 2.0, in our city, our state, our country, is a disgraceful offer. Considering the significant economic shifts and the rising cost of living that our teachers are currently facing across the nation and within our own state and city, such a minimal increase fails to address the financial realities and the needs of the workforce, our teachers. This proposal does not reflect the value of the labor provided by our teachers. We have dedicated teachers who work beyond their mandatory work hours. Teachers who show up at 6 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 in the morning on campus. Teachers who stay until 4, 6, and even 7 p.m. Here you go. And getting things done for their students, grading papers, messaging parents, communication. This unwavering commitment often sees them arriving before the sun rises to prepare lessons, staying long after the final bell to ensure every student's needs are met, beyond their primary teaching duties. These educators invest countless additional hours into professional development, extracurricular activities, and maintaining vital communication with families to foster a supportive learning environment. I know that some members of the board members are educators. And I understand, you know what I'm saying, because you too go above and beyond. You too go above and beyond your classrooms. You're community leaders. You are a board member. You should also know the tactics a school district uses to scare you into believing there isn't enough money to go around. These strategies often involve presenting complex budget spreadsheets, the emphasizes deficits while obscuring discretionary funds, or suggesting that supporting staff fairly would necessitate cutting essential student programs. By framing the conversation around scarcity, the district attempts to dampen advocacy and discourage the pursuit of equitable compensation for those who dedicate their lives to the classroom. Please do what's right and just. Thank you, BCSD. Thank you, community, and do what's right.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. Up next, we have Tracy Ruiz.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm here today not just as a teacher, but as someone who shows up for our students no matter the circumstances. Like my colleagues, I wear many hats: educator, counselor, mentor, and sometimes the only stable adult in a child's life. We are being told no to a 5% raise. Meanwhile, the board approves a 281% increase for yourselves. I want you to understand how that feels from where we stand. It feels like a complete disconnect from the reality in our classrooms. Our classified staff, who are essential to keeping our schools running, were just offered 2.5. These are the people who support our most vulnerable students, who keep campuses safe and functioning. That number doesn't reflect their value, it diminishes it. Every day, teachers go above and beyond what is asked. We give up our breaks, we use our protected time to complete IEPs, TSSs, and endless documentation. We manage escalating behaviors, often without adequate support. We are expected to meet every academic, social, and emotional need of our students, but who is looking out for us? We are exhausted. We are leaving the profession, not because we don't care, but because we are not being supported, respected, or heard. We cannot continue to be misunderstood or undervalued. This decision is more than numbers on a spreadsheet. It's a statement about what and who you value. Right now, it feels like a slap in the face to the professionals who keep this district running every single day. If you want strong schools, you must invest in the people who make them work. That means fair compensation, that means respect, and that means action. If you started from the bottom of the ladder, then please remember what it was like and remember where you came from. Please do better, BCSD. Thank you.
Up next, we have Ms. Rocha Carrillo.
Good evening, fellow board members, educators, and community. I'm Denise Rocha Carrillo. I'm a dual immersion kindergarten teacher at Voorhees Elementary School. And I want to ask you, the board of BCSD, do you not think the teachers of this district deserve a fair contract that gives us a correct, quote unquote, cost of living adjustment raise? To continuously say no to our needs of a higher salary, make it clear you do not think very highly of us. We are the teachers that are in the trenches, dealing with all kinds of learners and personalities. We are the ones showing up every day to not just teach the standards. They include reading, phonics, math, social studies, SEL, science, PE. I could go on. No, it also means we're there to test throughout the year. It never ends, throughout the year, even in kindergarten. Oh, and a side note, I think testing in kindergarten is developmentally inappropriate when they learn best through play and hands-on projects. We are the ones who have to do the added job of documenting and putting it in Aries, all of it, when we have challenging and spicy students in our classrooms. We have to be the ones who teach. Oh, that's not enough. Do interventions. Oh, wait, that's not enough. Counsel. Teach them how to regulate SEL, do small groups, one-on-one tutoring, can do all that and do parent conferences and keep in communications with the community, along with, oh, that's right, Aries reporting, so we can perhaps maybe the same school year get a TSS done. We not only deserve, but need our 5% raise, which personally, I come from LA Unified as well. It should be a double digit, 10%. I'm a beta rep, and I'm seeing how unfair it's all been for a while. But this would definitely help with the cost of living, the current cost of living right now. Everything's gone up, in case you haven't noticed. Board members, I urge you to consider that we are the people creating our future. If we are not compensated accordingly, then there will continue to be a shortage of teachers that are qualified, dedicated, and hardworking. That's all of us. That's including some of you. And they will be gone from here, BCSD.
Thank you.
Please
Ms.
do the
Perry.
right thing. Thank you.
Up next, we have Robert Duke. And then Ms. Holman will be after. Thank you. Robert Duke. Doe? Mhm. Okay. Ms. Holman.
Good evening. First and foremost, I want to thank you so much for listening to us about textbook selection committee, because we now get to actually hear from the company that there was a junior high company that was only offering to junior high, and they were originally kind of cut out of our options, and we now get to see them next week and hopefully get to pilot. So thank you for listening, and hopefully we'll listen again. It's not only not acceptable that you've only offered us 2%, which is not even the current cost of living increase, which means that's not a raise, in case anybody can do math. But also saying no to longevity. So I personally have a very strong feeling about longevity. I've been in the district 22 years. Admin gets longevity, CSEA gets longevity. Nobody cares that I've stayed with this district for this long. And honestly, there's years that it's been awful, because sometimes we just say, figure it out. And we don't care that there's social emotional problems and these children need more help than me. But anyways, so I really think that the longevity bonus needs to be there, as well as obviously the raise increase being higher. I do not, as much as I love having longevity pins, I'd rather have money. I have 3. One of them fell off last year because they're nice and cheap and don't stay together. So your own agenda today, you have an item that says you are in need of highly qualified teachers. I don't know if you know, the current high school district currently has enough positions open to empty out an entire highly qualified staff of junior high student teachers at this district. So give your bargaining team permission, since they've told our team multiple times they don't have permission to bargain. Take off the handcuffs, let them do what they need to do. Stop cutting the days short where you've already provided a sub, we've already paid for the sub, and then we cut the day short because I don't know what's happening. So please stop wasting money on half days and just bargain with us and find a happy medium. Please, longevity. 2.5% is the bottom on admin. I'd be happy with that. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holman. Up next, we have Michael Thomas Marquez. Jerika Burnett. Jerica.
It's not working as I'm talking. Oh, I'm like, there's no camera. I'm gonna hear my.
She's in
She's taking notes and time.
Good evening. My name is Jerica Burnett. I am a teacher in this district, and I stand before you tonight not just as an employee, but someone who has given a decade with this district. And I'm asking that you get something meaningful back. I chose this profession not because it would make me rich. I chose it because of the students. I show up for these students every day. I believe in these students, but belief doesn't pay my bills. I am tired, not a tired that summer break can fix. I mean a deep exhaustion of being told year after year that I am valued and being handed an offer that proves otherwise. 1.5%? Oh wait, 2%. One-time SEL training that we didn't ask for? I know these numbers say about how this district sees me, and I need you to understand, so do my colleagues, so do the ones who have already left. I spend money on my own supplies, I answer emails after hours, I consult students through crises that have nothing to do with the curriculum. I do all of this because I love these kids, but love is not a compensation package. I want to stay in this district. I want to keep doing the work, but I need to know that there are people sitting at the table seeing me as a professional worthy of a real wage. Not a gesture, not a training, not a number that barely keeps pace with inflation. You have the opportunity to do what is right, to send a message to every teacher in this district, that a message that we see you, we respect you, and we are investing in you. Or you could say, 2% is what you're worth. I'm asking you, please choose something better. Choose something that reflects the reality of what we do and the difference that we all make. We are not asking for the moon. We are asking to be treated like the professionals we are. Thank you.
And that concludes our public comments. Moving on to the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on Tuesday, March 24, 2026.
This is Chris, so moved to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Up next, we have the reports of district organizations. For the Bakersfield Elementary Teachers Association, we have Mr. Comstock, President.
Good evening. I am here tonight. Sorry. More cowbell, I know. All right, so I did something a little different tonight. Normally I just speak off the cuff to you, but I can't do that tonight because there have been too many really good speakers, and I want to make sure that I hit my points and don't belabor them. And this is probably the sixth version of this speech that I did because the first few were very angry, and I took the spice out of it. So, good evening, board members and superintendent. I'm speaking tonight in my role as the Beta president regarding the current status of bargaining. That's all I'm going to talk about tonight. I want to focus on three areas: process, financial reality, and priorities. One, our bargaining process. Bargaining this year has been unusually slow. Now, and I'm going to ad-lib a little bit, it has also been productive. We've had 14 articles and we had language for 12 of them. And we have gotten through 11 of those articles with some very good back and forth bargaining, which we have not had in the past. So I thank you for that. What I don't appreciate is the slow rolling of the bargaining process. We are now at the end of April and we have held just 14 meetings. In past cycles, particularly the last time we went to mediation, we exceeded 20, and that was by January. More concerning than the pace is the repeated interruption of negotiations due to the district's team stating they don't have the authority to proceed. That directly conflicts with the agreed upon bargaining norms, which state that both teams have the full authority to reach tentative agreements subject to ratification. Nobody on the district's bargaining team should be looking at my bargaining chair, Tom, to John, to any of them, and say, we can't go farther because we have to get permission. Everybody on the Beta team has the right and the ability to make that deal, to make the tentative agreement. They don't have to come and say, Steve, can I do this? Exec board, can I do this? They've been empowered to reach an agreement. And the agreement that we reached with all of you And our bargaining norms, number one, state that your team has that ability too. But we have shut down multiple meetings so they can come back because, frankly, they have ceded authority to the 5 of you. They have said we have to go talk to the school board to find out what we can actually do. We're not authorized to talk about those things. Your job isn't to bargain. That's their job. The board does not bargain. The teams at the table are expected to do that work, and right now, that process is not functioning as it's intended. The next thing I want to talk about is the financial reality. The second issue is the difference between projected budgets and actual financial outcomes. Projections versus facts. So I'm going to talk a little bit about enrollment, ADA, and revenue reality. Beta recognizes that BCSD, like many districts across the county and state, are experiencing declining enrollment. And as a result, there's fewer students that have been counted for average daily attendance than in recent years. However, what has not been clearly communicated is how this enrollment shift has actually impacted district revenue. The state has implemented funding mechanisms that help stabilize district revenues despite declining enrollment. While student counts have decreased, per pupil funding has increased significantly over the same 5 and 6 year period. And as a result, the district has generated substantially more revenue overall to use on fewer students. In the last 5 years, the ADA has produced over $150 million more than it did 5 years ago with fewer students. I don't know how you can claim financial distress. Oh, that's my next line. BCSD is not in a position of financial distress, but rather operating with increased revenue capacity and fewer students to serve. Over the past 5 to 6 years, the district has consistently projected deficit spending. Those projections have used the frame to be the limitations for us at the bargaining table. However, when those projections are compared to the audited actuals, the official numbers adopted and reported to the state, a pattern emerges. Year after year, projected deficits have resulted in significant surpluses. 2020, 2021, projected deficit, a $52.2 million surplus. 2021-22, projected deficit, $48.4 million surplus. 2022 and 23, projected deficit, $121.7 million surplus. We know ESSER funds. And then in 2023-24, projected deficit, $45.8 million surplus in the end. And just this last fall, late summer, we sat in this room and heard somebody say, we actually ended up with more money than we thought we were going to. We ended up with tens of millions of dollars that weren't expected. Again, that's not a mistake, that's a pattern. Now, just so you know, this is not an isolated occurrence. It's a consistent pattern of overestimating expenditures and underutilizing available resources. It almost feels intentional to say that we're going to spend more money than you actually do, so that at the end, look, we came out okay, but we didn't have to pay the teachers what they're worth. At the same time, the district has repeatedly fallen below required spending levels for educator compensation under California Ed Code 41372. That's the 60% that other people were talking about. The last 6 years, this board 5 times consecutively voted for a waiver to not follow Ed Code. This year, they failed twice to pass that same waiver, yet this district was able to go ahead and process it without the board's approval. So I guess your vote doesn't matter any more than us in the classroom teaching. I'm getting all of this not from Chat GPT or someplace else. I'm getting these from our audited actuals. I'm not making projections. I'm pulling facts directly from board docs, directly from the documents that we submit to the state to say where we are. I'm talking about actual things, facts, not projections. We need to stop living off of projections and start working on what we actually see. And what we see is a consistent pattern of us having more money at the end of the year than we thought we were going to, and you continue not to pay the teachers the fair amount that EdCo says you're supposed to. I have no problems with, well, that's in my priorities section. I'll get into priorities now. Finally, it comes down to priorities. In recent months, this board has taken action to approve a historically strong superintendent compensation package, which is fine. We want talent that improves student outcomes and employee working conditions. And if we need to pay for it, then we pay for it. I have no problems with that. I think that we're in a better position than we have been in a long time in the superintendent position. So I think that that's a smart way to spend it. Increasing board compensation under Ed Code 35120, which is also fine if we use it to attract the brightest and the best so that we have an effective board to help guide this district. I have no problems with that either. I think that it was the right thing to do. Now, I don't know that I like the way you changed board policy to state that you shall earn the highest amount, the maximum amount allowable under Ed Code, when you won't pay the minimum amount required to the teachers at BCSD. And at this meeting, you're going to move forward with updated executive salary schedules. Again, if we have good people, it's worth it. We have some damn good people in this building right now. They're worth it. These are deliberate financial decisions. At the same time, you've done all this, educators received a 0% raise last year. Despite financial outcomes that showed that we could have easily had a 4.5+% raise, and you still would have maintained a surplus. But we got 0. And here we are again today, looking at something that's not the COLA. It's not fair. It's not equitable compared to what everybody else is getting. It's time to actually start that healing process by taking care of the folks that are here. So in closing, the issue that's before us is not whether resources exist. It's how those resources are being prioritized. Beta's ready to meet, we're ready to bargain, and we're ready to reach an agreement. What's needed now is a functioning bargaining process. Because what's going on right now with the stop and start, you had 17 days from our last meeting to get the authorization needed to end this yesterday. And then they met for 3 hours yesterday. What a waste of time. 17 days between bargaining sessions. We had our stuff together. We need alignment between financial reality and the actual decision making. And we need a clear commitment to make educators a priority. It's time to make educators and average BCSD employees a budgeting priority. And you can do it based on facts from your own audits and your own financial findings. I'm asking you, the 5 of you, to do what's right. And I would like to ask permission from the superintendent to introduce you to some people who came out tonight that wanted to be heard. I know that CSEA did this a meeting ago. I would love for the folks in back to please be able to come on through and show you who they are. I promise not to introduce each one. It'll take a long time. I know I'm slowing everything down, but you know what? These are important people. Thanks, sir. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you, kiddo. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Come on, Diane. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Oh. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for lending your voice and everything else. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully we don't have to do this again. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for coming out. Thanks, sir. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, Kathy. Hey, buddy, thank you for coming out. Thank you, guys. Thank you, man. Come on, John, you're holding things up, buddy. Thank you, guys. Thank you for bringing me out. Thank you. I promise it does end. And right before I give up the mic, I just want to say, one of the people that walked through was one of my 6th grade students, not that long, and now she's a teacher in our district. I feel so freaking old. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Comstock. Just wait for the doors to close. Oh, no.